Let's begin by looking at this Photoshop creation closely. First thing you'll notice is that it was all designed with two things in mind. First of all the colors that were used were taken from this picture of Fremont. You can see the nav background is taken from his sash. The beige was taken from his face. Another shade of the background was taken from probably his watch chain or something. The letters from his sash. The John Freeman from somewhere on his jacket. And consequently, because of that, there's a unity to it with the family of colors around that brown. Second, you'll notice I used a grid to place all of the elements. The picture shows up in this grid part of the grid. You can see that the May goes from one part of the grid to the other. The Pathfinder and the Fremont is conforming to the grid as well, and so is H. The sidebars, the paper, the footer, even the nav bar across. So the two things that make this a united looking website are picking the colors and using the grid. All right, we are going to create some rollovers using the slice tool in Photoshop. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is put our buttons on the page. We're going to have a button for home, history, biography, gallery, links, and contact. The first thing I'm going to do is make sure that my text tool is set at center. And I'm going to look at all of my buttons and start with the longest word in the buttons. So it's biography. So I'm going to go, I'm going to have 6 buttons, and they're going to span 2 grid columns each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So let's begin. I will zoom in. Whoa. Click right on the grid between where the buttons are going to be. Biography. Okay. And if I look at my layers, I want to make sure that it is above all of the others. Okay, I'm going to turn them white or some manner of gray that will match the family of colors. Then I'll just reduce the size so that biography fits between 2 columns. Now I could eyeball this, or I can make sure I have the biography text highlighted over here and do a Command T. I get my bounding box and I can see the center box right here now. These 2 center boxes I am going to move over and so that they are on that line. If I do that, I know that my buttons are going to be centered in the button. All right, that looks pretty good. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag down a guide. If I don't see my ruler, I can easily hit Command R, and my ruler comes and goes. Every time I hit Command R, it toggles back and forth. Now, I'm going to do the same thing with biography, Command T, and then I'm going to drag the line. You see how it pops there? If it doesn't pop for you, you might have to go up and turn your snaps on. Snap to grid and snap to guides. Okay, let's see how that looks from a distance. Oh, that's going to be great. Okay, I can turn off my grids and my guides by Command quotation will turn on and off the grid. Command colon will turn off the guide. But I'm going to turn those back on. Now, I'm going to go over into the layers, duplicate the biography, and move biography to number 3. So this is the first button. I'm holding my shift and command. Okay, so this is where my third button is going to be. It's beautiful. Okay, now that it's there, I'm going to hit my command T. Wow, I balled that pretty good. Okay, here's biography. So now I can go double click the biography here and do home. Now you see, because I had the text on center, it's going to be absolutely where it should be. If I hit the command T again, I can see that the middle grid line goes right through the top and the bottom. Okay, then we need history. So I'll go down here, duplicate one of those text layers, holding my command shift. I will move it to the next button, and this is going to be history. Okay, let's see if it lines up. Oh, a little bit off. So I'm going to move it over so that it is on that center line. Good. Let's see how they're lining up, and they're perfectly spaced. Okay, I'm going to duplicate the history. I'm going to move it over to where the next button should be. Do a command T. Make sure, man, perfect. And then I will hit the little check mark, and this will be my gallery. Good. And then I'll duplicate that, one of these text layers, doesn't matter which, because holding command and shift, I can move it over to where the next button is going to be. Right about there. Command T, move it over. Okay, I guess I was lucky before. And this one's going to be my links. And I'm going to do it again. Whoa. Move it over to where the last button is going to be. And here I'll put contact. Move it over so that the center lines on the buttons. Okay, I'm going to turn off my grid and take a final look-see. Alright, there it is. The gallery looks kind of in the wrong place, but it is perfectly lined up, so that's good. Alright, now that we have our text in place, we are going to go to the very top layer. I'm going to change this to just biography. So, oops. There we go. I'm going to go to the top layer, hit duplicate or add a new layer, create new layer, and then holding my command option shift E, it will take all of the visual layers and put them on one. So these will be my buttons in the rest state. Now I'm going to turn that off. I'm going to grab all of these buttons by clicking the top one, holding shift, and clicking the bottom one. And by doing that and holding my command, I can move them around. So I moved them over 2 clicks with my directional arrows, and to up. So this is how it's going to look. This is when people get there, when they mouse over, the buttons are going to go up. Okay, let's see what else we can do. Let's create some drop shadows, because drop shadows make everything look better. Drop shadow. Okay, we can move it around until we're happy. I'm looking at the biography. Whoa, that's way too far away. So I'm going to put just 3. Good. And now, because I have this drop shadow effect, and I think I like that, I'm going to right click. I'm going to do copy layer style, and I'm going to put it on each one of them so that they will be absolutely perfect by right clicking and doing paste layer style. So you can see it's on the contact now. Links, I'm going to right click, paste layer style, and go down to gallery. I'm just closing up so I can see what I'm doing. Paste layer style, history, right click, paste layer style, and then I'm going to go home and paste layer style. So this is what they look like when you mouse over. So you can see what they're going to do. As the client or visitor mouses over these buttons, they're going to go up and down. Okay, so if I'm happy with this, I will create a new layer above that one, and now with the shadow showing, I will do a Command Option Shift E. So now I have 2 layers on the top, one for rest, and let's go ahead and label this rest and hover. Okay, so now we have the rest and the hover. All right, now notice by doing these layers all combined on a layer at the top, we have preserved everything else underneath it. So if the client needs to have something changed, you just turn off these 2 layers, make your changes, and you will be in business.